So guys, we have multiple new effects and sounds that I wanted to do a video about. So the first one is this guy. So they actually added a new visual effect for emergency fuel jettison for small fuel or small dump like valves, right? So they added for multiple vehicles. As you see, for example, here we have the F9F, and you can see that it is producing a lot less of a cloud, right? It's a lot smaller and yeah, very realistic, to be honest. Multiple vehicles have these. I might do a video covering like these minor things that got added, including all the vehicles that got that. But to be honest, it's not really worth to talk too much about, but they added a new effect, which is pretty good. Another thing that they actually did is add new flames, basically, and a new smoke for the missiles themselves, right? So you can see that the flame is a lot more realistic, I think. I don't know if it's the flame itself. They say it's for the rocket smoke trails and the engine flames, but to be honest, if you really take a look into it, it feels a little bit more like a change to the smoke itself and the way that it illuminates the missile. So let me do actually like a long range here. I really wanted to show with you guys on the AA systems as well, which looks a little bit better, right? If you take a look on a third person over here, you can see that the smoke is completely different. It wobbles around, which is amazing. It looks really amazing. I mean, look at this. It really is amazing. And the flame itself is a lot better as well. So it feels like it's the way that it interacts with the smoke. It feels a lot more... it feels like even kind of very similar to the DCS one, right? If we actually fire an AIM-9, for example, here... Let me try to fire an AIM-9. We shall be able to see a little bit more of the... Oh god. There's an actual missile coming. But with AIM-9 we might actually see like the proper flame and not the mixture. But it does feel a lot more realistic than it was. Both of them together with a smoke trail missile capable, right? Let's see with the AIM-9 over here. So even then, with this low smoke, right, you can see the fire, the way that it does, it is a lot better, see? Produces a lot less smoke, of course, because it's an AIM-9M, but you get the point, right? So the smokes are much, much better, the flames are much better. Let me show it to you guys on an AA. You probably already saw it on the Buck video, but yeah. So if you fire, you can see that the smoke is much, much better. We have here the Aster missile. It looks way better than what it was. The flame, everything in a third-person kind of perspective over here. It looks just... I mean, it looks pretty amazing. Doesn't it? Look at that. It looks pretty realistic. So even in the cam over here, you can see that it's just... It's pretty amazing. I mean, we do have a cold launch basically here, right? Look at that. It's so cool, man. It looks pretty amazing. And even in missiles that have the two, like, how is it, like, say, like the two kind of rockets, right? See? It has one rocket each side. It's like, it's one rocket, right? But it's, you get the point, right? The missile itself is, you know, burning from both the sides, you know, and you can see that it's just much, much better the way that the flames work. So, pretty cool, right? It is pretty cool. Even the larger missiles, let's take a look here. See? See, I mean, look at the smoke on this thing and the flames. It's just pretty amazing. Very cool. The ammunition, fire, and explosions are much better and when you hit a tank, basically, right? So, let's see, for example, here. I mean, the fire itself is much better, I think, you know. Let me see if I can hit. The ammunition is on the right side, I think, right? I think that's it. Yeah, see, it is much better. The fire itself looks a little bit more realistic. And yeah, overall, just a very, very cool change. I mean, it's not, maybe it's not perfect, but it is looking a lot better than what it was. I wonder if we hit like a third of an Abrams, but yeah, very cool. Another thing, guys, is sound. So this is going to be a little bit different. I'm gonna get the volumes up basically on the sounds, okay? But we have, for example, a new missile launch sound when you are inside the cockpit. So I'm gonna just be quiet and improve the you know, the amount of sound that it's coming out. So you can see that it is much better than what it was, right? We also have a new improved sound from when you are like outside the cockpit as well. Overall, the missile sound is better because it's a little bit more sharper, they say, right? The EA is trying to kill me, but I'm gonna be quiet now. So you can see that it's a little bit more sharper, it's just a little bit better, right? A little bit more clear, I would say, as well. The sound effect for deploying countermeasures as well, it's a little bit better, so let's hear it. Especially for flares is better, right? Very, very cool. It depends basically on, you know, where you are deploying. So if you are from here, it will have a different sound, right? So it's just much better. The velocity, everything is implemented basically here, right? Also, the new sounds for guns as well. Each gun will have its own sounds. I will show you guys 3 of them. The Vulcan at first. Doesn't change much, I gotta say, but it is a little bit clearer. The Russian 30mm. It sounds a lot more like a machine gun than a cannon, but still. Yeah, this 20mm is much better. I mean, it sounds amazing. Yeah, this sounds amazing, man. Inside the cockpit is a little bit more common, but like outside, Jesus Christ. So the sounds overall in guns are much better. This includes even tanks. So you can see, for example, on the upload over here, it's much, much better in third person as well. It sounds a lot more realistic, right? Even inside the gun itself, it is a lot better. So you can see that overall the sounds of cannons, of machine guns, of a lot of these things, they're just much, much better. And even when you have a lot of guns at the same time, right? I mean, it sounds way better than what it was, man. At least in my opinion, with my sound, you know, drivers and everything, right? And my headphones as well. I mean, it just sounds way better. As well as explosion sounds as well. Oh, it didn't explode. Hold up. because I completely missed. You can kind of hear it. It's a little bit harder to hear from a tank that it's so loud, right? But it is better. It is better. It's just a little bit harder to hear. You probably notice when you die, you know, stuff like that, which is pretty interesting. Let me get closer to a tank to see if we can actually hear it a little bit better. And we have the gun sound as well, like the explosion of the actual fire of the gun, right? So, let's see. I don't know, it's just killing everything, but you got the point, right? And also, ambient sounds were added, for example, for decks of aircraft carriers. So let's see if we can actually test this out with the F-18 here. We're gonna go to the aircraft carrier over here. And it is the last thing that I wanted to show to you guys. So apparently they added ambient sounds for carriers and stuff, which is pretty great as well. Let's see. Well, I gotta be honest, I don't hear much. I don't know. Like, maybe a little bit, but it's very, very low. So, I don't know. Let's see if we're taking off. No, not really too much. But yeah, guys, basically these are it. Nothing too crazy, but some interesting effects that they added. So let me know in the comments what you thought about them. And I see you guys on the next one. Jesus, the flares sound way better. Like, look at this. This is way more realistic than what it was before. Very, very cool. So, yeah, guys. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.